Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for the 10 TV Weather Impact Show. Meteorologist Meredith Garofalo with meteorologist Aaron White.
Hey.
What a nice Earth Day today.
Yeah, happy Earth Day.
Happy Earth Day.
A beautiful one. We got the sun shining. We got temperatures pretty warm here today. And
thank goodness.
Yeah, nothing to worry about, right?
Exactly. A lot of sunshine. Sunshine for several days now, which is nice.
Yeah.
I love it.
And yeah, really warm temperatures as well. And hey, maybe a good day. You know, it is Earth Day, so maybe you want to go out to a greenhouse and get a plant, a tree, something to plant here today, you know, and just spend some time outside and enjoy the earth.
Exactly. In your garden is a good idea. Let's talk about the forecast that you need to know as we head into the rest of the day today. We do have plenty of midweek sunshine. It starts today and it actually will continue for a few days. And the warm up today will be mild, but not as warm as the next couple of days. You'll see what I mean. But we do have rain and storms that could start up late on Thursday, so that's going to be something we highlight. But over the next 12 hours, you can see how quickly things get up into the 60s, and then we'll eventually be right around 70 degrees as we go into the second half of the day. So overall, it's going to be a very spring-like day, real spring, not fake spring, as we've seen sometimes here across central Ohio. In fact, you can see on the hour by hour earlier today, we really didn't have many clouds in the sky. It was a beautiful sunrise. And then as we go throughout the afternoon, maybe some high clouds lingering there, but nothing that's going to be too crazy for us. In fact, winds are going to be calm. High pressure is taking over our weather pattern, and it's going to continue to stick with us for a few days. But I'm not even going to show you Wednesday because there's really nothing to show you. It's sunny. But let's go ahead till Thursday. I'm going to stop the clock here at 7. As we go into the second half of the day, it is looking like we could see some pop-up showers, maybe some rumbles of thunder. Again, more isolated, nothing that's a linear group like we've seen before. And that looks to be just a little bit of a sprinkle overnight into Friday. But as we move ahead, I'm going to put the clock now at Friday afternoon. You can start to see our next storm system moving in. So this is going to bring in some rain. Could be heavy at times. There also could be some thunderstorms embedded in here, so we're going to keep a close eye on that. Continuing to move through overnight. Here's Saturday morning. You can see that this is expected to linger, and even on the backside getting some showers there. But it does look like things will move out by Sunday. So if there's a day of the weekend you are looking to do anything outdoors, I would say right now is Sunday. Of course, timing could still change, and we'll keep a real close eye on that. But for today's forecast, mostly sunny. Again, calm winds. It's going to be a great day to be outdoors. You don't have to deal with the crazy winds with allergies. You know that can be tough sometimes. And then as we go into tonight, we'll have the skies stay about mostly clear to partly cloudy. Overnight temperatures down into the 50s. The winds will be anywhere between 5 to 10 miles per hour. But hey, golfers, if you're trying to pick a when to get a tee time in today and tomorrow are my picks for us. Thursday, the only reason I have dropped it down to good is because of that second part of the day chance. So if you golf most of the day, earlier on, you'll be good, but you might get caught if you're in one of our southern counties in some of those pop-up showers. But for tomorrow, again, beautiful day, even warmer. We get up to 80 degrees. We'll have the light winds continue for us. And again, sunny to mostly sunny skies with temperatures as we get into the second half of the day in the 70s. You're going to really notice that spring feel in the air. And I'm sure your garden will be reacting as well. But the 80s actually arrive for us as we go into Wednesday and Thursday. Friday, again, we could see a dip in temperatures, but not much. In fact, we really don't see the cooler air come in until after the storm system passes on Saturday. And that's when we're going to have that chance for rain. So again, best chances of rain will be for Friday and Saturday. Then as we go into Sunday, really going to start to see temperatures go back up by Monday, though. It does look like the return of the 70s. And I am not talking about disco balls, that is for sure.
You know, I gotta say, I love looking at the 7-day forecast now because we don't have any, cold. We're not talking about any snow, any, super cold weather. We got 70s, 80s. Kind of want to take tomorrow off just because of how nice it is.
That means I'm gonna have to come and fill in. So I don't know.
You can enjoy the sunshine. I'll enjoy it eventually later on this week. But yeah, it's been a beautiful forecast, and not talking about how it's not really cold. We don't have to deal with any frost or freeze conditions. And I want to talk about that because a lot of people are kind of thinking about getting some plants and maybe doing some gardening already. The one thing I will say is to just consider the fact that we can still get a frost or freeze even into early May. On average, though, we typically see that here around the end of April across the state of Ohio. Between April 15th and April 30th is really the last time we'll see a freeze. We've had that here in the last couple of weeks. In the 7-day forecast, as you just saw, we're not talking about any frost or freeze conditions, but as we get into the first part of May, it is still possible. On average, the frost or freeze can still continue into early May, as we have had about 5 out of the last 10 years frost still into the first few days of May. But if you are thinking about doing some gardening, just one thing to keep in mind that I will say is if you go out and buy some plants, don't plant them into the ground. Maybe put them into a pot that you can sit outside, get some of that sunshine, and then consider, if we have in the forecast some colder temperatures below 40 degrees, bring them inside on one of those colder nights. But as we look ahead of the forecast, though, above normal temperatures, no frost or freeze in the extended forecast. So that is definitely some good news if you have that green thumb and want to get some plants ready to go. I've decided to go out and at least buy a couple plants for my apartment, but
nice.
You know, it's nice to just have that green, especially after such a long winter. Seeing some green, even just walking around a greenhouse is just really, I don't know, just feels good.
My family had a greenhouse, but I never got the green thumb, so maybe I'll call you for some plant suggestions.
All right.
Well, unfortunately with spring, though, we know you can see severe weather. And
Yeah.
Tuesday morning, actually, many parts of the United States, they had to deal with ongoing flood risks. Now, look at this video after deadly storms moved through their communities. This one's from New Orleans. This is where some people had to get to higher ground, unfortunately, to escape the waters. The Army Corps of Engineers says it took advantage of the high water to test a spillway north of the city.
We're expecting it to crest at 16 and a half feet on April 30th. We do this when the river's high enough, as you all can see behind me. The river's pushing through the structure itself, and that's very close to when we actually operate, how conditions are.
And as we know, with New Orleans, always a scary sight with the threat of flooding. Now, also in Oklahoma, several people were dead after weekend storms. They include, unfortunately, 2 children and their mothers who were swept away in floodwaters. Officials say dozens of others required high water rescue.
Yeah, just wild to see that video and stuff. And something to talk about here on this Earth Day, since we are talking about some sunshine and some decent conditions. There are plenty of fun things that you can do outside, of course, but also think about maybe some indoor crafts with the kids.
That sounds like a fun plan. And 10 TV Weather Impact meteorologist Michael Behrens looks at how your kids can take some recycled materials and turn them into something fun.
Today is, of course, Earth Day, and we wanted to share with you some fun crafting ideas that you can do with your kids to help promote using recycled materials that you likely already have at home. And to help with that, we're joined by Kimberly McLeod. And Kimberly, you have a website that actually highlights some of these DIY crafts, recipes, worksheets, and other projects for busy parents, teachers, childcare providers, basically anyone with a kid to keep entertained. I want to thank you for joining us today, Kimberly.
Thank you for having me.
And one of these projects, you got a couple of them lined up for us today, but one of them I want to look at first, a way to paint dandelions with leftover toilet paper rolls.
Yes, we're going to see these popping up soon before we know it this spring. And this is a really fun and easy art project you can do with kids for Earth Day this year. All you need is a paper roll. This is a paper towel roll that I just cut down. And then I cut these slits, these little slits on the end. And it makes a really fun paint stamper. So you can just grab some paint here. I'm using some white paint and just have kids kind of dab it into the paint to fill it up. And then you can take some paper. I'm using blue here. I've already kind of done one, and they can just kind of stamp it around in a circle, and it makes the really fluffy kind of dandelion version we see with all the blowies in the spring this year.
Yeah. And then you just take some construction paper, looks like, and you put the leaves down there.
Exactly. This is just some green paper you can add on. You could also paint it on, but it's just really kind of, I've just made it a little 3D by bending it a bit, folding it in half here with the leaves. And it's just a really fun project to do with kids, and super easy and using stuff you have around your home.
And that's kind of key to this too, especially these days with budgets being tight. Being able to do stuff like this with what you already have, it's a great way to save money and just have fun with the kids.
Exactly. Just, save those recycled materials. You can do so much with like with paper rolls, but also bubble wrap, cardboard. The ideas are endless.
Yeah, and that's a cool project there. It looks easy to do. I mean, everyone has toilet paper rolls at home. You're not going to be without those.
Oh my gosh, that's so
Yeah.
true. And I am not an artist. I don't know about you. That looks like something I could actually handle.
Honestly, yeah. I mean, it's not that hard to make something fun and, get creative with it and, see what you can make.
So much fun.
Yeah.
Well, talking about our Earth, our astronauts get such a great view. And so we're actually learning more now about the air quality in space. Check this out. NASA sent 3 monitors that were built at NASA Glenn here in Ohio and Cleveland. They're actually going to gather information about what the astronauts breathe while aboard the International Space Station.
That's really cool. And you actually had the chance to interview one of the aerospace engineers that worked on the project. And after the launch on Monday, here's more about that really cool mission.
Early Monday morning, NASA's resupply mission to the International Space Station by SpaceX had something very exciting upon it. Something actually made here in Ohio at NASA Glenn. We're actually going to be learning more about our respiratory and our air quality of the astronauts on the space station. And I'm so excited to talk more about that with you. We actually have Claire Fortenberry, who is a research aerospace engineer, joining us from NASA Glenn. Claire, what makes this mission so exciting?
Yeah, thanks for having me, Meredith. So we have sent, as of about 4:12 this morning, 3 particulate monitors to station. We'll be testing all 3 monitors in a flight test bed on station, where we'll be measuring the particle mass concentration in various locations on the station, so that we can see how these monitors work in a realistic space flight. So we're preparing to go to the moon, we're preparing to go to Mars, and so as we prepare to go on longer duration missions, we are wanting to improve the way that we monitor air quality for our crew to help them preserve their health and keep them comfortable and happy as they're exploring space.
That's so exciting, and I don't think a lot of people at home realize how many incredible things are coming out of our home state here in Ohio and NASA Glenn specifically.
Yeah, absolutely. The NASA Glenn Research Center in particular has leadership in the Moon to Mars campaign. So in particular, in the crew health and performance domain. So this is where this project falls pretty directly in that within that mission of improving crew health and performance for long duration exploration missions. But as you said, it's only one example of all of the amazing technology that's coming out of our center.
And I'm wondering, why study the air quality? I mean, I know on Earth we have different particulates, such as, when there's a wildfire, we have to deal with smoke. But I think people may not realize on the space station, it could be something like a little bit of dust, and that could really impact them.
Yeah, so the monitors that are on station, they were developed by 3 companies that have a lot of experience in developing hardware for terrestrial applications. But like you said, on the space station, things are a little bit different. So because you don't have gravity, you don't have the settling effect that you do on Earth, and so you'll get lofted dust that sticks around in the air until it's removed by a filter. And then you'll also get different sources potentially than you would on Earth. So on station, dust can come from stuff like skin flakes, like material wear and tear, clothing fibers, and it can be pretty disruptive to their everyday activities. It can cause, for example, false smoke alarms. The nuisance dust can set off the smoke alarm. And then as we look towards going to the moon and then to Mars, we anticipate that lunar dust might cause a problem, or Martian dust might cause a problem. So those are the problems that we're looking to solve with this type of technology.
That's so exciting, Claire. My last question for you is, with any of this research, I know we do a lot of research for health on the space station that benefits astronauts, but also for us here on Earth. Is this a project that could also bring some benefits to how we monitor air quality here on Earth?
Yeah, absolutely. So the 3 small businesses that have developed these 3 monitors, they have developed technologies to help solve problems here on Earth. So like you brought up wildfire smoke. So that's one of them. Indoor air quality is a big concern, including monitoring of droplets from the respiratory system for purposes of tracking the spread of viruses. It's certainly a unique opportunity for these companies to test their technologies in a unique test bed, a unique facility towards improving monitoring technologies for applications on Earth, as well as in space.
That is so cool. Thank you so much, Claire Fortenberry, joining us here on 10 TV Plus to talk about some more exciting missions that NASA is doing through the SpaceX Resupply Commercial Mission Program. And of course, if you want more information, you can always go to 10tv.com, and we will have some of the other exciting things happening above Earth. Thank you so much, Claire.
Thank you, Meredith.
Wow.
That's so cool. I always love hearing about different missions that they're working on, just kind of hearing about the research, the science that's going all into that, and it's always cool to hear about a space story.
And it's cool because the test bed is for astronauts, but a lot of the things they learn they can bring back here to Earth and really help, whether it's the medical field, whether it's air quality.
Yeah, wildfire smoke and stuff. Yeah, really important stuff for everyone. So.
Well, we're so glad that you could join us for this special Earth Day edition. That's it for your weather update here on 10 TV Plus. Tonight, meteorologist Jerry Martz will be in at 6. Until then, you can catch more news and weather online at 10tv.com. Have a great afternoon.